Good morning or good afternoon, based on when you're watching this video. So, as promised, this is what your homework will look like. So, this is called the Frayer Model, and the Frayer Model is used to help you build words and kind of analyze what the words are based on taking them apart and what each part of the word means. So, as what we've done yesterday, looking at prefixes, suffixes, and root words, this is what you will be doing on a daily basis when after school. So every new assignment, there will always be a new vocab word. It will be a new word part up here. So you will determine whether this is a prefix, a suffix, or a word root. When you determine that, you will define what this means. So if you have trouble defining it, all you have to do, you can always Google it. I'm just going to keep this Google open. I just want to go over the last two parts. So the last two parts of the Frayer model, once you've determined whether it was a prefix, a suffix, or a root word, and you determine the definition of that word part, you will come up with three word examples, at least three. And you will define those three word examples that you came up with. Preferably, it would be cool for you to find new words that you know, aside from stuff that you've already known. But which, like I said, you have a Google Chromebook. You can always look it up online and find new words that have that beginning. So just before we start, for the first few weeks, you will most likely see these dashes. So if the dash is on the right of the word part, this means that this is a prefix because this means that these two or this word part is at the beginning of the base word. If you see the dash on the left, this means that this is a suffix because that shows that this word root or this part of word part is at the end. If there are no dashes, this would suggest that this is the root word. This is the core meaning of it. So originally we had it on the right, so this would mean that it is a prefix. That's all you'd have to write down there. So if you have a good idea of what you think ab means as a prefix, you may write that down. If not, like I said, you have a Chromebook, you can look it up. Ab prefix definition, we know that it now means away from or separation. So you would write away from separation. And now that you have your word part and your definition, that is where you will now go down and fill out three words that you know starts with ab. And it will now become clearer why these words mean the way what they do. So for example, absent. And we know absent means to be away from something. Other words could also be abnormal, or it can also be abolish. So like I said, if you're having trouble kind of defining a word that you looked up or you defining a word that you chose to use on your own, don't hesitate to look it up. Learning new words is something that we need to do every day. So abnormal definition, deviating from what is normal or usual. Deviating also means to kind of separate or go away from something. So we know that abnormal, deviating from something that is normal. I'm just going to put dashes here so we know that there's each one. And then finally, we have abolish. And abolish would mean put an end to formally put an end to either system, practice, or institution. To put an end to a system, practice, or institution. And there you go. Short, sweet, and right to the point. We have the vocab word, we have the identification of what type of word part, definition, three words that use that word part, and then three definitions. Short, sweet, and to the point. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email or ask.